everyone, I'm Lindsay. Welcome to my wellness channel. And today I wanted to share with you some tips for going caffeine free. So I recently did a video that was reasons why I decided to quit caffeine and quit for good. And now I want to follow up with a video on exactly how to do it, 5 steps that you can use to quit caffeine and finally get caffeine free. And these were steps that I used to go caffeine free, and so I hope that they help you, and I'm going to go ahead and get into them right now. Okay, so the number 1 tip is going to be substituting and slowly weaning yourself off of full caffeinated coffee with either dandelion tea, which is a substitute for coffee, which is, it has no caffeine in it and it tastes slightly like coffee, or no-caff, caffeine-free coffee. And I want to make the distinction between no-caff and decaf coffee. So decaf coffee has a variable rate of caffeine in it, and it's very hard to know how much caffeine you're going to get in a given cup or a given brand of decaf coffee. And it usually has somewhere around 30% of the caffeine content of normal coffee. And this can be fine to use decaf to switch from, regular full strength coffee and try to wean yourself off of it. But the problem is, if you're having a lot of side effects from coming off of the caffeine, it's hard to regulate and manage those side effects when decaf can have anywhere from 15% caffeine to 30% caffeine. There's no regular number. And even if you get a brand that for example, maybe it has 30% caffeine, going from 30%, a cup of 30% caffeine down to 0 can be pretty difficult sometimes. So what I recommend instead is adding in slowly, no-caff substitute to your cup of coffee. So let's say you start out with 1 cup of coffee in the morning, and you might start out like 50%, cutting it 50% with no-caff. You do that for a week, and then the following week maybe you do 60% no-caff, and then you only have 40% caffeine. And then the following week, 70% no-caff. So you can kind of slowly wean yourself off of the full caffeine, and you're slowly increasing the amount of no-caff coffee that is in your cup. And let me tell you, it is much easier to go caffeine-free if you're still having that morning ritual of drinking coffee in the morning. So if you can switch all the way to no-caff coffee, that's ideal, because then you still have your ritual in the morning, which makes you feel good, but you don't have the caffeine. So the brands that I recommend are dandelion tea. Tea has a good brand. This is found at, some grocery stores have them. You can definitely find them on Amazon. And for no-caff, there's something called No Fun Joe decaf. And I also found this on Amazon. You can get it organic. And the key is, you don't have to get that brand, but the key is that it is Swiss water processed. Any coffee that is Swiss water processed, it's some kind of process that allows for elimination of 99.9% of the caffeine. So it's very different from decaf, which is somewhere around 30% caffeine. This is 99.9% decaf. So it's essentially no-caff. It's caffeine free, and it's still coffee. So what you want to do is add an increasing amount of this no-caff or the teachino into your coffee brew, if that's how you are brewing your coffee in the morning in a traditional coffee maker. and you just change the ratio of no-caff to caffeine as you go throughout the weeks. And the longer that you can draw out this process, the more time that your body has to adjust to getting used to no caffeine, and you'll have less side effects. During which time, you can also work on the following tips that I'm going to outline for you and work those into your lifestyle to increase your energy to compensate for the initial lack of energy that you're going to feel when you're eliminating the caffeine. My number 2 tip for going off of caffeine is to rethink your schedule, especially when it has to do with exercise. If you can, you want to experiment with exercising at different times of the day, because some people will get a huge boost of energy if they exercise in the morning or if they exercise around 10 a.m. and it will carry them throughout the day. Other people feel a big crash of energy at around 4 p.m. and they find that exercising at that time can help move the energy again and energize them a little bit. So you want to play around with your activities and your schedule to compensate for this initial loss of energy or feeling like you're lower energy than you used to be. So some of the times that I recommend that you try out in your schedule to see how it affects your energy throughout the rest of the day. Try right when you wake up in the morning, see how that does. Try around 10 a.m. and then also try around 3 or 4 p.m. and experiment with these different times and see how it affects the rest of your day and your energy levels. My 3rd tip for going off caffeine is to prioritize sleep. So this might mean that you have to go to bed super early because maybe you have been chronically neglecting your sleep and you've been compensating by drinking a lot of caffeine, and that's the only way that you've gotten through your day. You might be one of these people who needs like 9 or even in the beginning 10 hours of sleep a night to allow your body to get all of the rest that it needs. And this may just be a temporary thing, but the earlier that you can go to sleep and allow yourself to naturally wake up, the better that you're going to be, because then you can be assured that you're getting the proper amount of sleep if you're naturally waking up without your alarm clock. But the only way to do that is to try to go to bed as early as possible so that you can, allot for the possibility that you may need 10 hours of sleep or something. That may be something that you need to do in the beginning while your body is adjusting and coming off of the caffeine. So prioritize sleep. My 4th tip for coming off of caffeine is to avoid any foods that are going to cause any kind of blood sugar crash. So your priority in this period while you're weaning yourself off of caffeine and getting used to having no coffee is to stabilize your blood sugar. So this means try to avoid alcohol. Try to avoid a lot of carbs in the beginning. While you're in this period of transition, try doing breakfasts that are higher in protein. Even if it's just for a short period of time, eating protein-heavy breakfast and lowering the amount of carbs that you have in the morning can really help stabilize your blood sugar for the rest of the day. And that might be just a temporary thing that you do while your body is adjusting. Having a breakfast like an omelet is the perfect breakfast to stabilize your blood sugar as opposed to fruit. You want to avoid fruit or cereal or something like that. Heavy protein, stabilize your blood sugar throughout the day, and that will help to avoid crashes and that resulting craving for energy throughout the day. And my 5th tip for coming off of caffeine is to take meditation breaks throughout the day. You're going to be tired in the beginning, and dealing with those energy shifts and fluctuations that you're not used to dealing with, it really helps to take some time to meditate many times throughout the day. Something that I've done that I found really helpful is using the Pomodoro method for working throughout my day. So what that is you set a timer for 25 minutes. You work in 25-minute segments. After 25 minutes, you block out 5 minutes to rest and let your mind just go free. And so what I do is I use that time to breathe and concentrate on my breath and essentially meditate. So every 25 minutes, I'm doing a 5-minute session of meditation. And then after 4 sessions of these 25 minutes, so that's basically every 2 hours, you want to take a 15-minute session to meditate. And this really ensures that you're taking the time regularly throughout your day. You're going to take many breaks throughout your working day to come back to breathing and resting. And 5 minutes is really not that much time, so it's very doable for those of us who have a hard time meditating. Just breathe and think about nothing for 5 minutes. And this can really help to reset the stress levels that we're accumulating as we're working through our day. And the more that we take these natural meditation breaks, the less that we're going to be relying on something like caffeine to energize us and pump us up, because we are working on having a smooth, even level of energy throughout the day, as opposed to spikes and ups and downs. So I hope some of these suggestions helped you. Let me know what your experience is, and if you have any tips of your own. I would love to hear about how your journey is going with going off of caffeine. And thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next time. Bye.